Welcome, listeners, to another episode of Buffy's Flavorful Journey, where we spice up your day with the most intriguing topics and stories from all walks of life. I'm your host, Buffy, ready to guide you through another adventure of understanding and exploration. Today, we're diving into a topic that popped up on my TikTok feed last week. This topic is as diverse and complex as the human heart itself. It's the hookup culture, but with a twist. We're peeling back the layers to reveal how this phenomenon isn't just reserved for the youth. That's right, folks. We're exploring the vibrant world of hookup culture across different generations, especially focusing on how individuals in their 50s and beyond are navigating the waters of modern dating and relationships. From the digital love lanes of online dating apps to the quest for companionship and everything in between, we're uncovering the truth, debunking the myths, and sharing the stories that connect us all, regardless of age. So whether you're young at heart, or somewhere in between, join us as we explore these personal journeys of discovery, connection, and maybe even a little bit of romance. Let's get started and dive deep into the flavorful journey of hookup culture across generations. First, let's define the hookup culture in America. Hookup culture in America refers to a social environment that accepts and encourages casual sexual encounters, including one-night stands and other related activity, without necessarily including emotional bonding or long-term commitment. It is prevalent among adolescents and young adults, especially those in college or recently graduated. This culture is part of a broader societal shift towards more liberal sexual attitudes and behaviors that began in the late 20th century. Key characteristics of hookup culture include 1. Sexual liberality. There is a general acceptance of various sexual behaviors that were once considered taboo. This includes openness towards different sexual orientations and preferences. The late 20th and early 21st centuries have seen a marked shift towards more liberal attitudes concerning sexuality. This shift is characterized by a greater acceptance of premarital sex, same-sex relationships, and a variety of sexual practices. For example, the legalization of same-sex marriage in the United States in 2015 was a landmark event reflecting changing attitudes. Within hookup culture, this liberality allows individuals to explore their sexuality without the constraints of traditional expectations about relationships and sexual behavior. 2. Temporary engagement. Interactions within hookup culture are typically brief and non-committal. Physical intimacy can occur without the expectation of a relationship or, further, emotional connection. Hookup culture emphasizes brief, non-committal interactions. These can range from kissing to sexual intercourse, with no expectation of a future relationship or emotional commitment. An example of this might be college students meeting at a party and deciding to spend the night together with the understanding that their interaction is not intended to lead to a romantic relationship. 3. Role of alcohol and parties. Social gatherings, parties, and alcohol often play a significant role in facilitating hookups. These settings may lower inhibitions and increase the likelihood of casual sexual encounters. College parties, bars, and clubs are common settings where hookups can initiate. For instance, spring break in places like Miami Beach has become synonymous with party culture and casual sexual encounters among college students. 4. Digital influence. Dating apps and social media platforms have significantly influenced hookup culture by providing a means for individuals to connect or meet with the intent of engaging in casual sex. Dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Grindr have revolutionized the way people meet for hookups. These platforms allow users to explicitly state their intentions, whether they're looking for a casual encounter or something more serious, and to find others with similar interests. The ease of finding potential partners through these apps has significantly contributed to the prevalence of hookup culture. For example, Tinder's swiping mechanism makes it easy for users to express interest in others based on physical appearance, often leading to quick decisions about potential hookups. 5. Ambiguity. Communication about intentions can often be vague or non-existent. There may be differing expectations between participants about what the hookup entails or could potentially lead to. Communication in hookup culture is often characterized by ambiguity. This can lead to mismatched expectations, where one person might hope for a relationship while the other is interested only in a one-time encounter. The lack of clear communication about intentions can result in confusion and emotional distress. An example of this ambiguity might be someone interpreting a hookup as the beginning of a romantic relationship, only to find out that the other person does not share the same expectation. 6. Variability. Experiences and attitudes towards hookup culture can vary widely among individuals. Some may view it as empowering and enjoyable, while others may find it unsatisfying or emotionally challenging. Individual experiences with and attitudes towards hookup culture vary widely. Some people find casual sexual encounters empowering, enjoying the freedom to explore their sexuality without commitment. Others may participate in hookup culture but find it emotionally unsatisfying or prefer traditional dating and relationships. This variability is influenced by personal values, past experiences, and social circles. 7. Impact on relationships. The prevalence of hookup culture has influenced traditional dating patterns and perceptions of relationships among young people. Some argue it has led to a decline in traditional dating, while others suggest it is simply an evolution of social norms. For instance, the concept of friends with benefits reflects a middle ground where individuals engage in sexual activities without the pressures of a romantic relationship. 8. Health and safety concerns. Hookup culture raises concerns about sexual health and safety, including the risk of sexually transmitted infections, STIs, and sexual assault. The use of protection and consent are critical issues within this context. The casual nature of hookup raises concerns about sexual health, including the risk of sexually transmitted infections and the importance of using protection. Additionally, issues of consent are paramount, with educational institutions and advocacy groups emphasizing the need for clear, affirmative consent to prevent sexual assault. For example, many colleges now offer consent workshops during orientation to address these concerns. 9. Gender dynamics. There are ongoing debates about how hookup culture affects gender dynamics, with some suggesting it perpetuates gender stereotypes and inequalities, while others argue it offers a space for challenging traditional roles. Some argue that it reinforces traditional views of men as pursuers and women as gatekeepers of sexual activity. However, others contend that hookup culture offers a space for challenging these roles, allowing individuals of all genders to express their sexuality more freely. The experiences of women and LGBTQ+ individuals in hookup culture can vary significantly, with some finding it liberating and others facing judgment or coercion. And 10. Cultural and social context. Attitudes towards hookup culture are influenced by broader cultural, social, and personal factors. These include religious beliefs, personal values, and social pressures, which can affect how individuals perceive and engage in casual sexual encounters. For example, individuals from conservative backgrounds may view hookup culture with skepticism or disapproval, preferring traditional approaches to dating and relationships. Conversely, those in more liberal social circles may embrace casual hookups as a normal and acceptable aspect of their sexual lives. It's important to note that while hookup culture is a significant aspect of the social landscape for many young Americans, it does not represent the preferences or behaviors of all individuals. People's experiences with and attitudes towards casual sex vary widely, and many seek or prefer more traditional romantic relationships. So we need to remember that hookup culture in America is a complex phenomenon influenced by changing social norms, technological advancements, and individual preferences. While it offers freedom and exploration for some, it also raises questions about emotional satisfaction, health, and equality for others. Now, in that TikTok feed I mentioned at the start of this podcast episode, people were discussing their regret for having participated in the hookup culture, with some feeling that way because they are now single but wanted to be in a relationship with their special someone. Regret in the context of hookup culture, especially as individuals grow older, can manifest in various ways and is influenced by personal values, societal norms, and the evolving priorities of life stages. The reflection on past sexual behaviors and the outcomes of participation in hookup culture can lead to a range of emotional responses, including regret, for several reasons. 1. Emotional consequences. Some individuals may look back on their hookup experiences and regret them due to the emotional distress or dissatisfaction they experience afterward. This can stem from feelings of emptiness or a sense of longing for more substantial emotional connections that were not pursued or achieved through casual encounters. As people age and seek more stable, long-term relationships, they might view their previous engagement in hookup culture as a phase that was unfulfilling or counterproductive to their current desires for intimacy. 2. Missed opportunities. Regret can also arise from the perception of missed opportunities for developing deeper relationships. Some may reflect on past encounters and realize that the emphasis on casual sex led them to overlook potential partners with whom they could have formed meaningful connections. As priorities shift towards seeking long-term companionship, the transient nature of hookups might be viewed in hindsight as a barrier to achieving these goals. 3. Health concerns. Participation in hookup culture can sometimes lead to negative health outcomes, such as sexually transmitted infections or unplanned pregnancies. Individuals who experience such consequences may harbor regret, especially if these outcomes had long-term implications for their health or life plans. The awareness and impact of these risks can become more pronounced with age as the long-term perspective on one's health and well-being becomes a greater priority. 4. Social and cultural pressures. The way individuals internalize societal and cultural norms about sexuality and relationships can influence feelings of regret. For example, those who come from backgrounds that stigmatize premarital sex or who later adopt more conservative views might view their past actions through a lens of guilt or shame. The reconciliation of past behaviors with current beliefs or the values of one's community can be a source of internal conflict and regret. 5. Personal growth and change. As people grow and evolve, their views on relationships, sex, and what they want out of life can change significantly. Looking back, they might regret engaging in hookup culture because it no longer aligns with their current understanding of themselves or their goals. This form of regret is often tied to personal growth and the realization that what once seemed satisfying or inconsequential now conflicts with their matured perspectives. 6. Impact on self-esteem and relationships. For some, the retrospective view of their participation in hookup culture might be linked to feelings of low self-esteem or difficulties in forming trusting, stable relationships. They may regret engaging in behaviors that they feel have affected their ability to connect deeply with others or that have led to a pattern of superficial relationships. Addressing regret. It's important to note that regret is a common human emotion and can serve as a catalyst for personal growth and change. Many individuals find ways to reconcile with their past decisions through self-reflection, therapy, or discussions with trusted friends or partners. Understanding and accepting one's past, along with recognizing the role of those experiences in shaping who they are today, can be a powerful step in moving forward without the burden of regret. The role of regret for those who participated in hookup culture and are now older is multifaceted and deeply personal. It reflects the complex interplay between individual actions, societal norms, and the evolving nature of personal values and desires over time. Now, what about us older people in our 50s and older? Yes, some older people, including those in their 50s and beyond, do engage in hookup culture, though the dynamics and context might differ from those of younger individuals. The rise of online dating and dating apps has made it easier for people of all ages to meet potential partners, whether for casual hookups or more serious relationships. The reasons older adults might participate in hookup culture can vary widely and include the desire for companionship, sexual fulfillment, and the opportunity to form new relationships after significant life changes, such as divorce or the death of a spouse. Some factors influencing participation in hookup culture may include online dating platforms. Websites and apps like Match.com, OurTime, and even Tinder cater to or are used by older adults. These platforms provide opportunities for older individuals to connect with others who share similar interests, including those interested in casual relationships. Changing social norms. As societal attitudes towards sexuality and dating continue to evolve, there's less stigma attached to pursuing sexual and romantic relationships outside of traditional marriage or long-term partnerships, regardless of age. Life transitions. Middle age and later life are often marked by significant transitions, such as divorce, widowhood, or retirement. These changes can prompt individuals to seek out new relationships and experiences, including casual hookups. And sexual liberation. Some older adults who grew up during periods of sexual liberation, such as the 1960s and 1970s, may continue to hold liberal attitudes towards sex and relationships, participating in hookup culture as a continuation of their personal values and lifestyle. Some considerations for older adults in hookup culture may include health and safety. Older adults, like their younger counterparts, need to consider sexual health and safety. This includes using protection to prevent sexually transmitted infections, which have been on the rise among older populations, partly due to a lack of education about the importance of safe sex in this age group. Emotional well-being. Engaging in hookup culture can have varied emotional impacts at any age. Older adults might seek companionship and intimacy through casual encounters, but they also navigate the potential for emotional vulnerability and the complexities of forming new relationships later in life. Social connections. For some older adults, hookup culture can offer a way to maintain social connections and combat loneliness, which can be a significant issue as people age. However, the quality of these connections and their impact on overall well-being can vary. Generational differences. Older adults engaging in hookup culture may also navigate generational differences in attitudes towards dating, sex, and relationships, both with peers and potential partners of different ages. So yes, some older adults participate in the hookup culture, driven by a variety of personal and social factors. While the experiences of older individuals in hookup culture share some similarities with those of younger people, they are also shaped by unique life stages, challenges, and perspectives. The participation of older individuals in hookup culture, while sharing some overarching themes with younger generations, often diverges in dynamics and context due to differences in life stage, priorities, and social circumstances. Here are several examples illustrating how these differences manifest. 1. Motivations for engaging in hookups. Younger individuals often explore hookup culture as a part of broader experiences associated with freedom, rebellion, or the college lifestyle. Their motivations might include curiosity, peer influence, or the desire to enjoy short-term relationships without commitment. Older individuals might seek companionship, intimacy, or sexual fulfillment after significant life changes, such as divorce or the loss of a partner. Their engagement in hookup culture can also be a deliberate choice to explore sexuality and relationships in ways they couldn't or didn't earlier in life. 2. Platforms for meeting potential partners. Younger individuals predominantly use apps like Tinder, Bumble, or Hinge, which are geared towards a younger demographic and often emphasize photos and quick, superficial judgments to facilitate matches. Some older individuals may also use these popular apps, but many find platforms like Our Time or Silver Singles more tailored to their age group and preferences. These platforms might emphasize shared interests, life experiences, and longer profiles over quick swipes. 3. Communication and expectations. Younger individuals might engage in more ambiguous communication with unclear expectations about the nature of the relationship. There's often a hesitancy to define the relationship or express deep feelings, reflecting a broader reluctance towards commitment. Older individuals generally possess more life experience and are thus likely to be clearer and more direct about their intentions and desires. They value communication and are more upfront about what they want from a relationship, whether it's casual or serious. 4. Social and personal context. Younger individuals, their engagement in hookup culture is often influenced by peer groups, college environments, or social media. The exploration of sexual and romantic relationships is part of a broader quest for identity and independence. Older individuals, their participation is more likely to be influenced by personal growth, a clear understanding of their own needs, and the desire to find companionship or physical intimacy after major life transitions. They may face different societal judgments, with some communities being more accepting than others. 5. Concerns and priorities. Younger individuals may prioritize fun, exploration, and the experience itself. They might be less concerned about the long-term implications of their actions, focusing instead on immediate gratification or social status. For older individuals, health, safety, and emotional well-being are often more pronounced concerns. They may be more cautious and deliberate in their choices, considering the potential long-term impact on their lives and the lives of those they are involved with. And 6. Life experience and emotional maturity. Younger individuals are often in the process of discovering their likes, dislikes, boundaries, and relationship styles. Their approach to hookups and relationships is shaped by exploration and learning from experiences, whereas older individuals bring a wealth of life experiences to their interactions, including past relationships, raising families, and career achievements or challenges. This background informs their approach to new relationships, often leading to a deeper understanding of themselves and their partners. So while the basic premise of seeking non-committal sexual or romantic encounters might bridge generations within hookup culture, the ways in which different age groups engage with this culture reflect varied motivations, methods, and mindsets. These differences underscore the complexity of human sexuality and the pursuit of connection across the lifespan. And that, my dear listeners, brings us to the end of today's flavorful journey. Hookup culture, with its myriad forms and expressions, reminds us that the search for connection, intimacy, and understanding is a universal quest, transcending age and time. I want to thank you all for tuning in and being part of this exploration. Your curiosity and openness make all the difference as we navigate the vast landscapes of human experience together. If today's episode sparked something in you, stirred a memory, or ignited a curiosity, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts, stories, or even your own experiences with me. Reach out through our social media channels or drop us an email. And if you found today's journey enlightening, consider sharing this podcast with friends, family, or anyone you think might enjoy our flavorful adventures. Until next time, I'm Buffy, reminding you to keep exploring, stay curious, and never be afraid to add a little extra flavor to your journey. Goodbye for now, and remember, the adventure continues one story at a time.